Welcome to Shot of Ag. I'm your host, Rob Sharkey. As I travel this country talking to people that want to be in agriculture, people that want to start a farm. What some people don't realize is how hard it actually is. But today we're going to talk with Sharon Pferschy from Elburn, Illinois, who has done just that. How you doing, Sharon?
Doing great, Rob. Thanks for having us.
You are the co-owner of Garlic Breath Farm.
That's correct.
Yeah. First of all, if people don't know, where is Elburn in Illinois?
So Elburn is about 20 minutes west of Aurora.
Okay. Is that where you're from originally?
No, I'm actually from up north in the Cary-Crystal Lake area.
In the what?
The Cary/Crystal Lake area.
The Chicago area?
Yes.
Okay.
For those, yep. Chicago.
How long of a drive was it down to Peoria?
It was a little over 2 hours. Not too bad.
All right. Well, you say that's not too bad.
Not too bad.
You travel quite a bit with your job.
Yes.
Yeah, and you work for the FAA.
That's my day job.
That's
correct.
your day job, yeah. It's interesting, too, we're going to get into it later about how your husband's been able to just farm full-time. It's fascinating to a lot of people what you guys have done, because I've heard it again and again and again. When we go to speeches and that, people, well, we're going to farm, we're going to do this. And I say, it's great, I love that, but as you can probably attest, it's pretty hard.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. And people, I think, we're guilty of making it look more glamorous than it is. But I guess that's just part of marketing. But it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of doing hard work when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. So you and your husband, you were both working for the FAA. And how did we get into farming? Well,
we actually had a pet pig. I had always wanted a pet pig growing up, and my husband was just wanting to be the best husband ever, and so he surprised me with little Kevin Bacon back in 2020, and actually, no, I'm sorry, 2010.
Yeah.
And he surprised me with Kevin Bacon, and it was great. And so we train him just like a dog. You know, he's potty trained.
This pig?
This pig, yeah.
Yeah.
This pig, yep. You can walk him on a leash. He's great. I taught him how to use that Staples easy button, push the button, and then we knew that he needed to go outside to go potty. Everything was wonderful.
Wait one second.
Sure.
So you have a pig, and you have this, I know what you're talking about, like the red button that they used to. Yeah. And you taught the pig to push a button, which means he needed to go potty.
That's right. So, yep, we did that, and there's actually a video on YouTube about it. If you search on, I think, Easy Button Pig, it's on there. It's a much younger Kevin Bacon and Sharon Pferschy, that's for sure.
How old is Kevin Bacon?
In October, he's going to be 15. So,
which for a pig is it pretty old, right?
It's pretty old,
because
yeah.
What kind of pig?
It's the kind that you don't eat, and that's why he gets to be so old.
Technically, you can eat any pig.
Technically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we thought originally that they go to about 30 years, but we found out a little bit more recently that they usually, like 15 is pretty much the max, which makes sense because he's getting old man skinny and that kind of thing.
He's slowing down.
He is.
Just like his movie career. Sorry, I do like Kevin Bacon. I mean, Footloose, one of the best. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, so you have this pig, and then how does that transition into a garlic farm?
So my husband had redone our house and did all kind of great work, and we decided that we wanted to sell it for a profit and move closer to work, because at that time our day job was just under an hour away from us, and I just didn't want to have that kind of drive. So we did that, but we were having a lot of trouble finding a neighborhood that would allow us to have a pet pig. All those associations were just like, no farm animals.
Well, I mean, but it's a pig, but you're raised it like a dog.
Right, and pigs are actually cleaner than dogs.
That's an opinion.
Well,
yeah.
And smarter. But, they weren't looking to dispute it. So we started looking around, and our realtor luckily found this 3-acre land, and it had this little house on it, and it was not really a farm. It was mostly land, and it did have some farm field on it. It had previously been part of a larger farm, and then they split it off when the husband had passed away, and then they're just trying to sell it off. So we got that, and it was great because we had a place where a pig could be a pig, but it was kind of funny because in our old neighborhood, I'd walk Kevin Bacon around the neighborhood on his leash, and people would stare at us like, what are they doing?
I imagine.
And now at our farm, if I walk Kevin Bacon around on a leash, the farmers look at us like, what are they doing?
I imagine.
So we just got to create our own world, I guess.
So now you have ground. And
We got
you're
land.
looking to do something with it.
We didn't know what to do. Our
Yeah.
background was in technology, computers. We were not farmers. We've
Yeah.
got no history of farming whatsoever. And so my husband actually did a Google search saying, what is the, what's a good thing that you can grow on an acre of land for like a micro farm? What can you
Yeah.
make a lot of money?
Opium poppies. Yeah.
Well, yeah, opium, it's
Yeah.
hard to get, and
Yeah.
so tariffs. But the problem was that it pretty much came up with two different options, lavender and garlic. And we didn't know what to do with lavender. So we thought, well, garlic's great.
What do you do with garlic?
Well, you eat it, Rob. And we decided our master plan was to become garlic farmers. And in addition, a side gig, because that's cool. It's cool,
Yeah.
cool to have a side gig. And whatever we couldn't sell, we would eat.
Okay.
That was our master plan. Yep.
I mean, it sounds good. It sounds fantastic.
Foolproof. Couldn't have, yeah, no.
So you just went to Walmart, you bought some garlic seeds, and you're in business.
It was a little bit more complicated than
Yeah.
that. So we knew that we wanted to be certified organic. And so I began to look into what that would take. And I had to transition the land first from conventional to certified organic. And part of that began with having seed. You have to actually acquire seed that's certified organic to begin with. And so we did that and started everything off and had to learn, all the ins and outs of the certification process and how to become farmers. And Google was very much so our friend.
I bet. Yeah.
But then we also had to reach out to other businesses to try and learn. But how do you do that without, creating a situation where you look like competition?
Yeah, I wouldn't help you.
I know.
Yeah.
I can already tell. Yeah.
Even if I didn't grow garlic, I'd be like,
No.
you're on your own. Ask your pig. Yeah.
Right. So I found a farm out in Canada, actually. I was like, okay, that's far enough away. They're not going to worry about anything I ask. And as it turns out, he had previously lived in Illinois, so he thought it was pretty cool to be able to help another, person from Illinois. And he just told us the ins and outs of everything, what to do, and it was so helpful. And it's kind of funny because not only did that help us get started, but it also planted the seed in us to help other farms. Because what we did not like in the farming community that it seemed like everybody had silos, like literally, but also figuratively, where the information sharing just wasn't there.
No, we don't like to talk. Yeah.
So we decided that we were going to redefine that part of how we do business in our community. And so we were just going to share it all. Just tell anybody who wants help, we'll help you. There's a farm just about, a quarter mile down the street, and we helped them start a garlic farm.
Competition right there.
Don't even care. We're here to help.
Huh.
Yep. We believe in abundance, and the truth is that's never been a problem for us. In fact, when they sell out, they send customers over our way.
Really?
Yeah, and we would do the same. We're all here to help.
You're not just like starting them up so like eventually you can take them over.
No. I don't want more work, Rob. Good.
So this is a huge change, a huge learning curve.
Yeah.
How do you start selling garlic?
Well, we started off by looking for farmers markets and trying to figure out what that was going to take because we didn't have a market. We didn't understand how to get into stores or anything like that. So we started applying to farmers markets. And prior to all this, I had never even been to a farmer's market. I just hadn't. It wasn't part of my life. And
I forgot. You're a vegetarian, aren't you?
I am.
I had to look that up, what it was. You don't eat meat.
No.
It's the damnedest thing. Literally.
It's weird. I know, and I'm still alive. It's amazing.
For now.
I know.
Yeah. How long have you been doing that?
Well, we were vegan for 7 years, and then
Vegan,
just this past December, we started consuming eggs, which converts us to vegetarian. So
you can't be a vegan and eat eggs.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, with vegan, yeah, nothing with a face.
What about, you can eat ham though, right?
No, not so much.
It's weird.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to make fun of you, but I kind of want to. Vegetarian. I don't know what to do for the rest of the interview now.
I don't know. I'll eat extra broccoli for you. Now what?
Really, no meat?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. And your husband too?
Yeah, it was actually his idea. Yep. For health reasons. So we wanted to, when his mom passed away in 2017, he started realizing, looking at his family tree, that they just did not have longevity in their family. And so he decided that he was going to take matters into his own hands and change everything that he could. And so he was like, what do you think about being vegan? And I was like, what? Because for years I was like, I don't really like meat. I think we should be vegetarian. And he was like the biggest carnivore ever. We used to have meat chickens. He would be all like low carb, eating all the meat and everything. And he was like, no, that's crazy. And then when he said, I think we should go vegan, I was like, what's wrong with you? But
was that hard?
Well, we started it with low to no pressure. It was October 1st of 2017. We agreed that for 30 days, or actually 31, we were going to be completely vegan and just go that route and absolutely no meat. And then on the 31st day, Halloween, if we decided that this is horrible, let's not do this, we're gonna go out and have a burger and whatever, like we don't care. But about, it wasn't even 2 weeks, it was like 10 days into it, his inflammation had gone down so much, he started feeling so good that he just looked at me and he said, I'm not going back. I don't know what you want to do, but I can't go back to eating meat. I feel too good. And I was like, okay, well, I will support you.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I guess more for us.
There you go, more for you, absolutely.
All right, I don't know much about garlic, right? I buy garlic salt. I mean, what do you do with them?
Well, with garlic, I mean, there's so much you can do. So there is, I mean, you can eat it raw even. A lot of people like to roast it. We pass out roasting recipe cards so people can throw it in the oven, some olive oil, salt, pepper, just kind of cook it for, it's only like 20 minutes for 450. But a lot of times people like to chop it up and put it in stir fries and all that. But I recommend eating it raw.
Is it really strong, isn't it?
It can be. So there's hundreds of different varieties of garlic. Yeah. And the kind that you get at the store is not the kind that we grow here in the Midwest. And it's actually quite a bit more bitter than what we sell. And so it just, we do recommend that if you're going to be eating it raw, that you'd want to, you know, check on the variety, because sometimes it's going to be a little too spicy for that, for a beginner at least.
Can you do it? Are you immune to it now? You can just slam it?
No, not completely immune to it. I mean, there's still some times where it just, you know, makes me squint a little bit, and I'm like, woo, that's a lot. My favorite variety is Romanian red, and that guy's spicy, real spicy. So we always tell people, when you're starting out, have the porcelain music. It's a little bit more mild. It's
porcelain music.
Porcelain. It's actually our best seller.
That's a delicate name.
I know.
For garlic.
I know. It's actually a guy's last name. He came from, I think, Italy, and it was just his last name, and he brought the seed, and he was like, I'm going to name it after me. All right.
What are you selling at the farmers markets, though?
So we do typically sell garlic in the month of July, which is when we harvest it. So right now we have garlic scapes, which are the flower part of the garlic plant. And those taste...
That's what these are, right?
Yes. And those taste like a garlicky green bean.
I've never had one.
Yeah, they're pretty darn cool.
Oh, they're long.
That's just the flower part. So the actual rest of that'll be my model.
Your model?
Yep.
Okay.
So the garlic bulb is still in the ground until July when we harvest it. And so then there's about a 2 to 2.5 foot stalk for the garlic, and then this guy's on top. If we were to leave this alone and let it go to flower, which it will do if we don't break these off, this is the bud, it will actually spend so much energy going to flower to reproduce that our garlic bulb will be small. So we break these off, and they're nice and edible and delicious, and you can only get them for a couple weeks in the month of June. So it's like a big delicacy, and gourmet places love it, and it's just a lot of fun.
I've never had one, never even heard of them.
So if you eat it raw, it's pretty spicy, but if you cook it, it does mild it out quite a bit. So now you have garlic breath. Sample time.
My first time too.
Your first time too?
What's it called?
Garlic scape.
Just eat it. You don't worry about what it's called.
Oh, there we go.
Little kick to it.
Yeah, little kick to it.
But
Yep.
I was expecting worse.
No. So you can tell that there's like, it's like a garlicky green bean.
Here, I don't want.
I was gonna say, I feel like everybody's
We got
swapping
plenty.
germs. I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
Don't blame me. So we've- yeah. Don, you want a bite? Look at this.
Everybody's gonna have garlic breath.
We'll get you. You can take this home with you, Don.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's not bad.
No.
So how do you? I mean, you supposed to eat them raw or?
You can. So the number one thing that folks like to make with garlic scapes in the month of June is garlic scape pesto. There's like a cult following for it. It's so popular.
Okay.
Yep. And so at our website, garlicbreathfarm.com, we do have a recipes tab. And we've got, of course, the pesto. But even just yesterday, I made garlic scape bean dip. I just posted the recipe this morning on our Facebook and Instagram page. It's wonderful.
So you guys build a farm,
Mm-hmm.
successful. Your husband actually quits his
Yeah.
day job, and
Yeah.
was that a good decision?
It was. So in 2015, we started Garlic Breath Farm. Then in 2019, he quit his federal job to work full-time at Garlic Breath Farm. And it was scary and exciting all at the same time for him.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the opportunity to follow a dream, you know, you got to go for it.
Yeah. Your husband was a veteran.
Yes, of the Navy.
Tell me what y'all are doing with veterans.
We are just trying to give back. So the military gave so much to my husband that he just wants to make sure that he gives back as a thank you. And so we are working with the VA, and we're helping veterans transition from military life to civilian life, and provide farm therapy for them, and just an opportunity to
What is that?
get outside.
Farm therapy.
So if you have stresses, a lot of times just being out in the dirt and in the sun and doing physical activity and working towards a bigger purpose outside yourself, it helps provide internal peace. So a lot of folks call that farm therapy.
Okay.
Helps to decrease anxiety and stuff like that.
Now, you'll have to help me out because I do not live in the city. So is it an escape from the city life, or I guess I'm not following.
It's an escape from your brain. Yeah, it's not from, for a lot of people, it's just, sometimes we all get a little too stuck in our heads. I mean, we're all guilty of it. And so when you're working on a farm and doing something physical and you're knowing the good purpose that you're working towards, it just feels good. It feeds your soul. And a lot of, yes, we do sell at farmers markets, we sell online, we do all this kind of stuff. But a lot of what we do ends up going to food pantries and stuff like that, and just helping people. And so they know that they're being part of something that's helping the greater good.
How do you get set up with something like that? Because I imagine a lot of people want to help veterans, but probably some people aren't qualified. Is there a process?
Yes, so we weren't really sure how to start at first. My husband does belong to the Farmer Veteran Coalition, and he kind of reached out to them, and he also reached out to the VA themselves, the Veterans Administration, and the VA came back and said, yeah, we've got this program, we can set up a contract with you guys as long as you're, registered to do business with the government and all this kind of stuff. And I had already gotten the business back end set up previously, just part of my admin duties. So I was like, yeah, we're good. Let's do it.
Do you think your husband can relate to them better than, like, say, I could, just because he knows what they've, well, you can't ever compare, but he would know better what they've gone through than other people that hadn't served?
Yes, I would say so. I think that there's a brotherhood, regardless of gender. There's just a brotherhood, sisterhood of people who get it, who understand. And that's something that, I was not ex-military. And so there's just things that I'm not going to get that they all get, and they can all just sort of bond and connect over. And I think it's important for them to feel part of that community, especially when they have, gotten out of the military. It's like you're part of this really tight group, this family, you're doing important things, and then you go out to regular life, and it's like, well, what's my purpose now?
So with this farm, is there more of a sense? Everything's a business, right? You got to make money, got to be profitable. But
Yeah.
is there a bigger purpose for you too?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if for us, we're here to just serve people. We're here to serve the community. We're here to change the world, make an impact. And there's so much that we do. Like, for example, here today, I'm not here to sell a thing. I'm here to plant a seed.
It's your PBS. We
I
don't
know,
have
nobody's
any
going to
money.
watch the show anyway. I know. But I'm here to plant a seed to help people start thinking about, oh, maybe I would like to work with the VA, or oh, maybe I would like to grow food and give tomato plants to food pantries and stuff like that, and just to plant the seed, because you never know which seed's going to take off, but the more you plant, the more your probability of growth occurs. And so that's a lot of what we do, is we just spread the word and try to grow others.
How do you become nice? I'd really like to know. Hey, you're nice. You want to do good for people, and that's just so foreign to me.
Well, I don't know. There's probably a lot of people that say I'm not that nice, but I don't know.
Your husband?
Nah, he likes me.
What's the majority of your business? Is it mainly at the farmer's market, or are you guys selling elsewhere?
It is mainly at the farmer's market. We did get our wholesale license, and I thought that was something that we're going to want to do, but the profit margin for that is just so thin. But that's not even the biggest deal. The biggest deal is you don't get to actually be part of the community. There's a gift that going to a farmer's market and working at a farmer's market that exists that nobody really talks about. So we've been doing this for about 10 years. We've seen couples get married over time. We've seen pregnant bellies show up one summer. The next summer there's, a little baby in a stroller. A couple years later, next thing you know, it's the garlic. I know. Takes 9 months to grow garlic, takes 9 months to grow a baby. Everyone's like, clearly.
The problem I would have with farmers markets, and I've never done one, but I would know how much work it takes me to grow whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then you get someone there, and it's like, well, I'm not paying that. And that would tick me. I was like, okay, I'll show you where to stick it.
So I get that, and I tell you what, it's funny because we have had a few people that are like, I'm not paying that much for a garlic bulb, and I'm just kind of like, cool, see ya. But my husband's like, well, I'll tell you why it costs that much. It's because you're looking at the person who put it in the ground and took it out, and so he's much more patient than I am. I'm just like, on your way. But but truth be told, it's just like, it will sell itself. So we actually have some people that are like, I don't know, why is it really worth it, whatever. We'll take a small garlic bulb, and a lot of times we'll just say, you know what, do you have garlic at home already from the store? And they're like, yeah, take this. Just take it. It's our gift to you. Please do a side-by-side comparison.
Get them addicted to it.
Well, pretty much,
Yeah.
like a good drug dealer.
Yeah,
Yep. So we just send it home with them, and it speaks for themselves, and we almost always see them back.
Garlic Breath Farm, if people want to find you, social media, websites, where do they go?
We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, LinkedIn, I think X is called now, Garlic Breath Farm.
It's always be Twitter.
I know,
always
right?
Be Twitter.
Yeah, I know. So we're at Garlic Breath Farm, and then our website is garlicbreathfarm.com.
And is there a certain farmer's market up north that you hit?
Yeah, a lot of times on Saturdays we're at the Batavia Farmers Market, and on Sundays we're at the Oswego Farmers Market in the summers.
Okay. Sharon, I think you and your husband, first of all, congratulations on being first generation farmers.
Thank you.
It is very rare. And to be like truly successful enough to where your husband can, that's his main gig now. And it sounds like we talked before, maybe when you retire, you're hoping to do the same.
I would like to, very much.
It's very rare in agriculture. It's very rare. So, but besides the money part of it, you guys with your attitude towards wanting to help other people, help other farms, that's also rare too. So I think you're a breath of fresh air, breath of garlic breath air
Thank
to
you.
agriculture. I don't understand the vegetarian thing, but I'm thrilled that you talked with us. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It's so hard to find someone that really wants to help other people. And you've
We
made an
do.
impression on me and my wife. And yeah, I definitely want to thank you for that. Sharon Pferschy, PF.
PF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you should change that. That would help.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work
We
on
didn't
that.
talk vampires at all.
We did not. We did not. I have this garlic scented candle here, and we actually have a second one that says vampire test kit.
Fair
Just
enough.
saying.
Sharon Pferschy, thank you very much. Everybody else, we'll catch you next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to explore more of our local content. You can connect with us on our social media platforms, visit our website, or download and watch the free PBS app. We can't wait to see you next time on A Shot of Ag.